good morning. It's Monica from Life is Art, and we are here at the beginning of the Art and Artists online crop. And today we're going to be looking at creating a faceted gift box. Now, we're thinking about the holidays coming up, and so that's kind of prompting this. But this sort of project is great for any occasion, birthdays, anniversaries, even having a dinner party or party favors for an adult themed party. And so I thought I would share it because it's a fun, quick way even for a hostess gift or for place settings on a table. And hopefully you will feel inspired by it. Also, it's from an art form that is one that I love, and that is origami. But don't worry, it's not teeny tiny fiddly, it's big. And so we're going to be starting out with a full-size piece of designer series paper. And this one happens to be from a collection that is currently in clearance on the Stampin' Up website. And this is from Les Shop. So that is French, L-E-S, Les Shop, S-H-O-P-P-E-S, if you're looking for it. So it's a good price point because it's on clearance. And I love this side of it. It looks like little mosaic arcs. And it's in a lovely sort of smoky slate color. The back side is not particularly one that I would normally use for this kind of project, as it has some ramen and some bread and some ice cream and different things. So it's a little bit different from the norm, but the side that I want to use is this lovely gray side. That will be the outside of my faceted gift box. And so we're going to begin with some folding. And when I say some, I mean a lot of folding, but it's not difficult folding. Okay, so stick with me. You may want to just watch the video all the way through, and then if you want to create one of your own, you can go back through and watch it on replay, and that way you can pause the video wherever you want. Okay, so we're going to start out with a full 12 by 12 sheet of designer series paper, or DSP, and we're going to start by creating creases in an X formation. So we're going to take one corner, fold it to the opposite corner, and when you're doing origami, precision is important. So you're going to want to line things up so they're nice and lined up, then hold that paper together really tight, and you're going to push out towards the center, and then you're going to work your way to the edge, and that will keep everything lined up pretty nicely, rather than just forming the crease from one side to the other, and that kind of usually makes things shift a little bit. So that's our first crease line, is just from corner to corner on the diagonal. Now we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to fold this lower corner up and line everything up. With origami, it's a lot of folding and opening, folding and opening. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to hold it tight. We're going to push towards the center and then out along the crease line from the center. Okay? And then have either the handle of your scissors or a bone folder or some kind of straight edge to give it a nice crisp fold. So we have created our X. Okay? Now we're going to create a plus. So we're going to fold in half on the horizontal and in half on the vertical. So let's start with our horizontal. So we're going to just make sure all our corners line up like that. Again, we're going to hold it nice and secure. We're going to push out to the center, and then from that center out to each side. You're just going to keep repeating that same process every time you make a crease. Okay, so we've done our horizontal. Now we're going to do our vertical. And sometimes you need to kind of massage the paper because it wants to, paper has a memory. And so once you crease it, it wants to follow those crease lines. So it's going to want to try and fold on those. So you have to kind of massage it. Hold it tight, push out to the center, and then from the center to the edges. So we've created now our plus sign. And then first we did our X, then we did our plus sign. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this bottom piece and we're going to fold it to the center. And sometimes it helps to lift this part up so that you know that you're meeting that crease line in the center. Just make sure everything lines up from side to side, like that. And then hold it and crease out from the center. We're going to do this on all the sides. So this side is going to come into the center as well. So again, we can lift up so we can see that crease. Depending on what kind of paper you're using, it'll be easier or harder to see that score line. I need to come step a little closer. Okay. Again, crease out to the outside. Origami is not hard. A lot of people think it's hard. It's not hard. You just have to go step by step. So we have done these two sides in towards the center. Now we're going to do left and right in towards the center. So again, you're going to have to kind of massage because it wants to kink on all those creases that we've previously made. Make sure we line up. Looks good. Out from the center. And this seems like and you can even keep that there if you want. You can either open it back up or you can keep it there. Sometimes if you keep it there, it makes it easy because then you just butt this one up against it. Make sure it all lines up. And then push out. Because this DSP is pretty thick, you want to do that extra little crease with the bone folder. Okay, so we have done our X. We have done our plus. And then we have done the sides at the top and the sides at the bottom and either side all coming in towards the center. Now this one is a little bit different. We're going to take this bottom corner here and we're going to bring it up. You'll notice each corner has made a square with a diagonal in it. So this intersection right where this corner square ends, we're going to take this bottom corner and line it up with that. Okay, just make sure everything lines up, and then we're going to hold it tight and crease out. And we're going to do this on every corner. Okay, so we've done this corner. Now the easiest thing is just turn. Just turn. I was keeping my paper pretty still for your benefit, but it's easier if you just turn. So again, the lower corner going up to that intersection in there, creasing it out. We're getting there, people. We're getting there. Turn it again. Hey, Mom, nice to see you're watching. I don't know if I said it before, but if you're watching, say hello or howdy in the comments so I know you're here. If you're watching later on replay, you can say replay. We're touching that intersection, and we're creasing this out. And that is our third one. And so we have one more corner to go. We're going to lift this one up and fold it over till it meets that intersection right there. And crease it. All right. Now we're on to our last fold. So you can see we've created angles all the way around. Our last fold is to take this little corner and just fold it in half. So we're going to that same intersection that we were doing way up here. Just this little corner here. We're going to fold it up and just fold it like that. And we're going to leave that closed. So just leave that like that. And that's good because we'll know when we've done them all because they'll all be cornered in. Okay, so just these little corner squares. Just crease them in. Ooh, did I line that up very well? Sort of, maybe. Try again. Remember always when you're creasing, push the center out. All right, let me find the corner. It's somewhere in that piece of bread. There we go. Okay. Now what we want to do is we're going to start doing a little bit of adhesiving. Hey, Michelle, nice to see you're watching, and Lynn is here too. So in these corners, if we take this little corner and put our hand here, and we lift this piece up, you can see that this piece will fold over. So we're just in the square next to the corner that's folded over. And it's got a little diagonal crease. If we lift that up and fold it down, it creates this nice little point. Okay? And we want to glue this triangle down. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our adhesive and we're going to add adhesive to the right of the score line. Okay, so this is the center score line. We're just putting a strip of adhesive in this little square to the right of that. And we're going to do that all the way around. So we're going to turn, we're going to find our center score line. We're going to add just in this square a bit of adhesive just to the right of that score line. Turn, same thing. Find our, you'll see me doing this. It's because my fingers can feel the score line better than my eyeballs can see it on this pale paper. If you were using a dark cardstock, you'd be able to see your score line. Sticky boo. All right, our last one. Another little strip of adhesive. And there we go. Okay, so again, let's do that. We're going to hold this corner down. We're going to lift this one up, and it's going to fold over like this. Now, the other thing I want to do is I want to take this little triangle right here, and I want to fold it down like that. And what that's going to do, if I lift this up, it's going to make ourselves a nice 90-degree corner right here on the outside. Okay, so we need to add some more adhesive. So hold the corner down. We've got our adhesive here. It's going to stick like that. Now we need to add some adhesive on here. Or actually on here, but either one works. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip our piece over. And on this back side, let me just double check that I'm getting my messages right. You know what? Let's keep it this way, because then I won't get confused. I know when I did it before, I did it on the back side. But what we're going to do is we're going to fold this over, and then just on this angle, because that'll keep us all clear and straight. On this little angle, we're going to add some adhesive. Okay? And then we're going to turn, and we're going to do the next one. So we're going to put our hand here. We're going to lift up the part we've already put adhesive on, but we haven't taken the backing off. And we're going to add some adhesive on this angle here. That's a much better way of doing it. It's probably how I did it last time. All right. Turn. Hold down the corner. Lift up. And then we're going to add some adhesive here. One thing with origami is that if you just keep doing the process, it makes life easier. Don't try to guess. Just do the process. Hey, Don. Let's hold down this corner. We're going to lift up this triangle and add our adhesive. And I think that is our last one. Who's been counting? Are we on number 4? Let's check. Yep, we have adhesive on all 4 parts. Okay, now we can take some adhesive off and start sticking things down. I'm going to use my take your pick tool to help me with this. So on this inside, we're going to take off this strip of adhesive. Put your hand on there, hold it down. We're going to lift up the triangle just like we've always been doing, and we're going to stick it down. Now we've got this adhesive exposed. We're going to go ahead, take the backing off. You can do this with liquid glue. You just have to be more patient, have more patience than I do. And then we're going to push this down. And because it's already folded, you don't have to try and line it up. It's just going to automatically land where it's supposed to. So now we've created that nice 90-degree corner. Okay? Return, we're going to go to the next one. Put your hand there, hold it down. Get your backing off. It's just following the process. What do they say? Trust the process. So holding it, lifting up the triangle, sticking it down, remove the backing from this one, and then we're going to fold this triangle down, and it just sticks. It just does its thing. Now we have 2 90-degree corners. Go to the next one. Okay? So there's our corner. We've got our hand on our corner. We're going to take the adhesive from the inside. Do the inside one first. and push and fold it down. And then the adhesive from the outside one on the angle. And then we're just going to pull this triangle down. And swoop, that one went a little wonky. Hear me saying that it's going to be just ticky-boo. That one went a little wonky. We'll take our time with that one. I think my crease is just a little off. And that's okay. You can fix it when that happens. And there we've got our third corner done. Now we go to the last one. See how we've got that spot? We're going to hold it down. And you're going to have a hard time seeing what I'm doing because I'm down in the bowels of this now. But we're doing the same process. We're taking off that inside adhesive, holding the corner, lifting up the triangle, sticking it down, taking off the backing that's on the angle, and then we're going to stick this one down, just like that. And now we have created a nice little box. But you say, Monica, you said it was going to be a faceted gift box. That just looks like a box. Well, this is where the origami magic comes into play. Because remember I said that paper has a memory. So what we're going to do is you're going to see these four corners push in. Let me see, how did they go? In, down, up, down. Let me give myself a reminder. It's been a few days since I did this. All right, so we want to push the four corners in. And these in. That's what we're doing. Right. So our four sides, they're going to push in to create this nice little star shape happening. And then we're going to push all of those in towards the center. And automatically, and this is one of those moments where you go, wait a minute, what happened? How did that happen? So we're going to repeat it again. Okay, we've got our box with our four straight sides. Okay, we're going to push the centers of the sides in. And then these little points that stick up, we're going to push those in towards the center. And these little lines that run from each of those are going to tuck in like that and create this fun and funky faceted box. Now we have to have a way to close this box, and I'm going to try and speed up here because time is fleeting. So on our box here, these points that stick up when we pop it out like that, we've got these points. Where there's a point that sticks up, we're going to use a little hole punch. And on either side of the point, because it's made out of two triangles. So on this triangle and this triangle, we're going to punch holes. Some of them have a lot of layers. So we've punched little holes. We're going to go to the next point that's sticking up. And we're going to push those edges in to make it all nice and flat. And again, we're going to punch two holes. One there, one there, on either side of that center seam. Okay, we'll go to the next one that's sticking up. These ones are sticking down. We don't worry about those. Just the ones that are sticking up. We're going to squish them flat and punch some holes. And then one last one. This is the sticking up one. And there's always the last one that wants to be mangled. I found that with every one of these I've ever done. We're going to punch holes on this one too. Alrighty. Now we've made lots of confettis. So we have our 4 points that stick up that have 2 holes in each. We're going to bring in some little ribbon because I used a little hole punch for this. This is a tiny size hole punch. So we're going to use some little ribbon. We have the gold and silver 1/8 inch trim combo pack here. We're going to use our gold ribbon, and we're going to need about 22 inches. So we've got 12, 10, let's give it a trim. 22 inches, all the confettis, they're everywhere now. And we're going to start by threading on one of these points. We're going to push this right through. We're going to squeeze it down like we did before. We're going to push through from the outside towards the center of the box. And we're going to do the same on the other side. And you can be as persnickety as you want about whether there's a twist in your ribbon, or you know, you can adjust it as you go, but I'm going to move fast. We're going to try and get them about even. There we go. And then we're going to move. We're going to take this string going this direction. Because this came out on the inside, we're going to come to this next one, squish it flat, go from the inside to the outside. Just like weaving your shoelaces. Okay? And then the one beside it, we're going to go from the outside to the inside. We're like making a drawstring bag, but with a box. And then this last one, we're going to go from the inside to the outside, and we're going to stop there. No, we're not. I did the same thing last time. We're not going to stop there. We're going to pull that one back out. I want to end with a dip in between. So you just kind of finagle it until you get a dip in between. We're going to do the same thing with the other side. I should have started with a dip instead of a point, but it doesn't matter. You just play with it till it works for you. It's just ribbon. And if you find that it's difficult to get your ribbon through the holes, take a piece of cello tape or scotch tape and just wrap it around the end, and that'll kind of make a needle point for you, right? And, oh yes, that's actually where I wanted it to end. I was correct. Silly me. I do want it to end here. I overthought it. Just go in and out, in and out, in and out. So on every one of these points, you should have a loop. And in between, it should go across to the next point. I can get one more. There we go. Okay, so now's the point where you can stuff this full of stuff. And this is actually a good size box. It's about 4 1/4 inch square on the bottom. And so then all you want to do is just gently cinch it in once you've stuffed it with whatever you're going to put in there. You know, a giant cookie, or probably not a cupcake. And if you're putting food, I would suggest having it in plastic, or some kind of food safe bag, because you don't want to get, you know, like cookies are greasy a little bit, so you don't want that. Then we're going to make ourselves a little tie, just like so. And then we're going to add on a tag. So we've got our fun little box, and for our tag, I want to do a few things. This is a new product that I believe has just been released. It's the Modern Herringbone 3D Embossing Folder, and it creates such a nice pattern that kind of reminded me of knitted knitting. knitting. And so I have gone ahead and I have embossed somewhere a piece of cherry cobbler with that. Let me see. I used a 2 inch by 3 1/2 inch piece of cherry cobbler. I embossed it. I rounded the top corners. I did a little dovetail and punched a hole. Okay, so there's our first piece that we're going to have. We're going to kind of make a layered tag. And then I wanted to bring in, and you'll kind of see where we're going with this when I bring in the piece. This is the Regal Distressed Specialty DSP that we've got here. And you can see that I've added some inking. And I wanted to show you that process, although I have run out of time. But all you're going to do is take some scrap paper. You're going to take your blending brush. Let me grab the green one. And some garden green ink. And you're going to just add it onto your distressed DSP. This is the one that's got the creamy background, as you can see. You're going to just rub that on there. Then you're going to take a tissue and rub it off. If you've ever done Emboss Resist, It's the same process. That just takes off the extra ink that's sitting on top of that lovely gold foil that's on there. And then you have any color that you want with that lovely gold foil plaid texture. Then you can take your Stylish Shapes dies, and you can see I've made a circle. So I use the circle die, and I cut out my lovely inky circle. And then on top of that, I layered some of these embellishments. These are the woven golden leaves. So you can see here, I took 4 of those leaves and I attached them using mini glue dots. Then I had a bird from the Winter Treetops, Nest of Winter designer series paper. I just fussy cut it. And then I did some white heat embossing on some garden green cardstock, adding that sentiment, joy, and love to you. And that was using the Peaceful Season stamp set. Sorry, I'm rushing through this, but I have to get my son to college. There's a transit strike in Brampton. So I used the Joy and Love to You from Peaceful Season, heat embossed it on there. And so we're going to layer those 2 tags up and add them onto our faceted gift box. Let me just figure out which way I want to go. Let's start with the back one first. You could also add a white tag on here. You could add a to from, that kind of thing. Instead of heat embossing a sentiment, you could heat emboss somebody's name if you were using it as a place setting. And then, of course, we're going to go ahead and we're going to tie a nice little bow on here. Like so. And I love that woven gold leaves with the gold ribbon that we're using. It just adds lots of bling to our kind of plain box. And then I find when you're tying bows, you just want to kind of start the tying process and then decide which way those things are going to drape, because you can kind of massage them to your own whim. And then adjust to how you want them, how big your loops want to be, and how long you want your tails. And then just tuck that in there like that. Mine's a little crooked because I did an extra knot, but you know. But there we go. We have our faceted gift box. Works as a lovely hostess gift, works as a place setting, works as a nice little way to present a small package as well. If you have a small gift that you want to tuck in there, you could add some tissue, all sorts of lovely things. But I just think it has such an interesting shape, and it's not too hard to make. And if you have some designer series paper that's just sort of a nice pattern, you can go ahead and create that for your friends and family. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing that come together. I hope you feel inspired to give some origami a try, and we will see you again soon. I gotta run and take my son to school, and hopefully I'll be back in time for Chat and Craft at 11:30. We'll see you then. Toodaloo. Bye.